everyone, welcome back to the channel. So far you have heard me talk about Tesla quite a lot, but I believe it's time that we discuss other cars that are in the market, especially in the Australian market, that are worth considering. If for whatever reason you don't want a Tesla, you already own a Tesla, maybe you want another car, a secondary car. So one of the brands that is doing quite well in Australia is BYD, and I just am at BYD Brisbane. So they currently have three cars. Two of them are available now. This is BYD Dolphin, and that's BYD Atto 3. And they just released another one called BYD Seal, which is looking quite good, to be honest. But let's see how that is. I believe there's one of those in this store, and I'm just curious about how that looks. I've driven an Atto 3. It wasn't too bad of an experience. It's quite different from what Tesla does, but I believe it's still a good car for the price. And let's see how the BYD Seal is. Looking at the car, it's not to believe it's just $50,000, and to be honest, it's way better looking than a Tesla. I know Tesla is a better car because I've had it for that long. I've had barely any issues with it. But nonetheless, this looks very tempting, especially with these handle doors that just come out, and it's easier to sort of figure out. This is how the back seat of this car is. It's a bit more spacious, and I believe the sunroof that it does have is good as well compared to Tesla Model 3, where we have a center pillar, but this one is all through. And the seats are a bit more comfortable as well, to be honest. Like, if you look at the gap that we have in here, the seats of Tesla Model 3 maybe ends up until here. These are a bit more extended. The interior is a bit more, I think, luxurious. And overall, it looks like a well-built car. And even the practicality of the back seat is pretty good because you got three storage compartments, one little holder for your phone or whatever you want to keep, air cons. But the sunroof is pretty good and sleek. So you can't fault the looks of this car, because Atto 3 looked a bit tacky and weird, but this one looks great. And I believe if you see how much space we have, just bump our head, so maybe the center seat doesn't have that much space, but overall, otherwise, it's pretty good for the value that it provides. And the center console also looks amazing. Let's go in the front and see how that is. So sitting in front of we do have ambient lighting, and its ventilated seat is turned on. Let's look at the stock. Gear lever is a bit luxurious but weird. It's too small for my taste. I would have preferred the round one, but I think for the sake of convenience, it's easier this way. But it does look luxurious. It seems like made out of some gem or plastic. Looks like some fancy alcohol bottle. It does have two cup holders with clip-ons. It's got fairly decent space. It's not the biggest one I've seen, but it's certainly not the smallest one. The design here is amazing. It's pretty good looking, and it just flows through to there. I'm glad there's a screen at the front, because some people do miss it in Tesla Model 3 that it doesn't have a dashboard screen. And the gimmick of the screen, the center one, is that it turns and rotates, which is good and fun. It does have an air purification mode as well. So overall, I think the quality of the software is not as bad as I've seen in some other cars, like older versions of MG. And you hit this button on there and you get a big clock, which is decent and looks a bit more, I think, subtle. And if we look at the steering wheel, we do have our adaptive cruise settings on the left, as well as the camera system, which shows a 360 view of your car. And the quality of the camera is actually pretty good. And I think if it's like Aero 3, you would get a built-in dash cam, which is nice. This one makes the car transparent, I think, and it shows what's underneath the car. Like, it's the software interface as well as other things wouldn't be as good as Tesla's, because they are a tech company which is making a car, but nonetheless, for the price, it does look good. It does have two charging spots for the wireless charging. There's a spot for storage here as well. You got two USB chargers here as well, one USB-C, one USB-A. Overall, it does have a lot of things to offer, and if you're looking for a sedan, this might be one of the best ones available in the market currently, including Tesla Model 3. Like, if it drives anything closer to as it looks, it would be a fantastic car. So this is the front driver's side, and the door sound is good as well. It sounds well built. You can actually rotate the screen from this button as well, and it doesn't stop while it's rotating, so you have to wait for it to finish rotating. And I believe overall the quality of the screen is good enough. Let's see how the navigation looks. And this car does have a heads-up display as well. I'm not too sure you would be able to see it or not. But it does have heads-up display. The dash screen does have information which provides us with what gear we are in and how much power the car is generating and whatnot, and it does show a lot of other things as well, including the direction we are headed, the outside temperature, how many kilometers the car has done. I'm trying to figure out the range for this one. This is a performance version, and as you can see, 58% of battery is showing 267 kilometers, which is quite good for a performance car. And this, I believe, goes 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, which is not bad. And given the price of this car, like, even the performance version doesn't come with a hefty price tag. And I'm more interested in the dynamic version of this, because that's the cheapest version and it looks similar to what this one does. And for that one, the price and the quality, as well as what the car has to offer, is quite good, including the seats at the back. And let's see how we have the center console. Oh, it got two cup holders. It's not as fancy or luxurious as other things in the car, but it's still good. And I just noticed there's a light bar, interior light on these handles. The silver things, they look great, and it's very luxurious. Like, it doesn't give you a vibe of a cheap Chinese made car for sure, including the entire design. The steering is great. Like, if you drive an Aero 3, or if you sit in Aero 3, it's a bit quirky and it's a quiet taste. Like, some people like it, I don't mind it, but I'm not a fan of it. But this interior is way more luxurious, and it looks to be able to defend the price tag way more. And if you're looking for a sedan, Model 3 is great, but I would still have a look at this, and depending on your needs, maybe you can save 10 grand and buy the dynamic BYD Seal. There's some things which I don't like for example, in the BYD Seal you would still be driving like a normal conventional ICE car. You wouldn't have one pedal drive. The stocks are on the right hand side for indicators, which I'm not used to, so it's going to be a transition if I ever buy a BYD, because I'm used to those stocks on for indicators to be on the left. But I think that's a very minor thing to consider. Once you get a car and you drive it daily, you would get used to those things quite quickly. I'm actually glad that Tesla is not the only car maker anymore which is doing great when it comes to getting these decent cars in the market. And I believe that was one of the challenges earlier. Like, if you want to buy a decent electric car, you have to go with Tesla or maybe Mercedes or BMW. But now options like BYD or MG4 are here in the market, and that's, if anything, that's going to help other car makers realize that they have to compete with car makers which are doing way better than what traditional car makers are. And I believe that's it for this video. I'm glad that I was able to actually personally have a look at a BYD Seal, because I heard it's in Brisbane just for a week, but I just was having a chat with the representative from BYD, and they told me the interest for this car have been that big that the person who was the decision maker decided that they are not moving this car from here. They already have placed like over 700 orders within a couple of weeks of releasing BYD Seal, and after seeing it, no wonder that happened, because based on just the looks, it's good enough, and it's electric, so the things that could go wrong are very less. And overall, I think reviews from all around the world have been quite good as well. It's nothing which is stopping us from exploring or at least putting in an order. It's a refundable $1,000 order, so if you don't like it after you drive it, you can cancel the order. And it's fast enough. Like, as I was saying, that some systems that I've used in the past, including Kia's, they could be quite laggy, but this one seems to work fine. I'm not too sure about the resolution of this interface, because Spotify does look a bit 720-ish pixels, not 1080 clarity, certainly not 4K. But that's a minor thing, to be honest. Like, if you think about what other things the car has to offer, and you can always use things like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And obviously the interface is something which you would have to get used to. If you are in the market for any electric car, there's a lot of options these days to consider, and I'll be covering more options and sharing my experience if I would be able to drive a BYD Seal or Edo 3 or MG4, so stay tuned. So thanks a lot for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.